Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Board and also Savior. This is a video that I hopefully won't do that frequently because, I can't afford to. This is a haul. I'm going to talk about all the games that I've gotten recently. And listen, it is not lost on me that just a few weeks ago I did a video all about how to keep your collection in check, stop it from getting out of hand, make smart purchases. I get it. Listen, I get it that I did that, but here's my excuse. I haven't bought like a bunch of board games in a really long time, and I wanted to also, and so that's important. That's an important factor in being a board game collector, being someone who likes board games, is knowing when to treat yourself. You're about to see a whole bunch of games though, and so like I recognize if anyone is like, hey, you really treated yourself recently, and like fair, that's fair. But this is Christmas money and birthday money, so it's like my bank account doesn't even know that I had those celebrations. First up, we have Unmatched, Brains, and Brawn. So Unmatched, if you will see behind me, I've got genuinely, literally every single Unmatched set that is out so far. The Sun's Origin, the new Japanese set, is coming out right now, and I don't have that one yet. But everything else, with the exception of this, was already in my collection. Brains and Brawn has been out for a little while, and I just didn't find a great opportunity to get it. And then Christmas rolled around, and I was like, oh, I'll put that on my little Christmas list. So that is from Christmas. I love Unmatched. I will at some point do like a massive tier ranking of all the different fighters. So if you want to see that, get excited. If you don't, also get excited. Like maybe take this time to get excited for that so that when it comes out, you can watch it and then support me better, right? That sounds like a nice thing to do. So Brains and Brawn, three incredible fighters. You know what? Actually, I can be controversial for a second. So Doctor Strange, everyone likes Doctor Strange, right? Spider-Man, everyone loves Spider-Man. He's everyone's favorite. She-Hulk, everyone hated that Disney Plus show. Guys, I feel like if I was popular, I would like lose subscribers for this opinion. I loved the She-Hulk show. I watched it like really far out from when it came out because I heard so many bad things about it, and I thought the CGI looked awful from all the little clips that I saw. And that is not untrue. That CGI is rough. There are some things in that show that look like PlayStation 3 graphics. It's because the incredible artists who worked on it are overworked like crazy by Marvel Studios. That said, people who hate the show, I don't even get it. I watched it. I was like, I don't understand why people don't like the show. It felt like such this is so cheesy. It felt like such a breath of fresh air from Marvel. I have been super bored by like all the MCU stuff post Endgame, like a lot of people. And for whatever reason, She-Hulk just worked for me. It was super funny. It was witty. I loved all of it. Tatiana Maslany, oh my gosh, she was fantastic. So She-Hulk is in this game, to get back to board games. She-Hulk's in this game, and I love She-Hulk, and I loved the show, and I love the character. So this is probably like the best Unmatched set, best Marvel Unmatched set for me for like the characters. Daredevil is maybe, I think Spider-Man's my favorite of all the Marvel characters that have come out so far, and then Daredevil, just in terms of characters, not in terms of the Unmatched fighters or anything. But like the other sets, like Moon Knight's really cool, but you got to contend with like Ghost Rider's in there, and Ghost Rider's kind of lame. Sorry, any Ghost Rider fans out there. And for King and Country, like they're all cool characters, but they're all kind of like lower tier. Black Panther's amazing, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. This is like all heavy hitters. This is A-listers. So this was a very exciting purchase, gift, not purchase. I'm so in the purchase mindset because everything else was something that I bought. So, Unmatched, Brains and Brawn, really, really excited to... I haven't gotten this at the table. I got this, 3 weeks ago. So I haven't played it yet, but I'm very excited to, and to figure out where these all rank in terms of all the other Unmatched fighters. Stay tuned for that. Oh, promo. Okay, what else we got? All right. Next up, these are 2 Barnes & Noble purchases. I got Barnes & Noble gift cards, and so I got 2 games at Barnes & Noble. Who likes books? What? You go there for board games, right? Come on. This is probably not going to surprise very many people because this was such a massive hit when it came out, and I was interested in it immediately because people compare it a lot to Ark Nova, and I love Ark Nova. It's in my top 10 games of all time if you want to go watch that video. Earth is that same kind of thing. You have this massive tableau of all types of different cards. This is very plant and nature-based. Ark Nova is obviously like animals in a zoo with some of the other things that come along with that. There are animals in this game, but this is much more flora versus fauna. And I have not played any of these games with the exception of one yet because they're all brand new. They came in like a week ago. But very excited to play this. I need all of the games that I buy at this point to have at least some level of a solo component, because that's the way I play a lot of games these days. I've got the problem with having a collection like this when you have friends that live all over the world is that you play board games with those friends online. And then why do you have the physical games? Well, because you play them alone. Like a cool guy. So this has that solo component, and I was excited about that because that's how I've played Ark Nova almost exclusively. So I am excited to get this one to the table. Also, I'm not going to do this for everything, don't worry, but like just the little pieces, these like little knobbies. Oh my gosh. Yeah, give me knobbies. Give me knobbies, baby. I love me some knobbies. Who doesn't, honestly? Knobbies are like... great. So that's Earth. Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble, not the best prices. Let's all just be honest. But when you have gift cards, it doesn't really matter. This is the game that I have been able to play. This is Dice Throne. And this is... I remember how I just said the solo component thing? Obviously, this is not... there's no solo component unless you, like, pretend like you don't. You could just pretend to be 2 people, which I may do. I do that kind of thing. It's respectable. Dice Throne, never have I ever played this game before buying it. But similar to Earth and Ark Nova and that kind of connection, people often compare them. People often compare Dice Throne and Unmatched because it's mix and match characters. You can like play Spider-Man from this set with the gunslinger, who's like kind of a cowpoke person who's got a gun and is like yeehaw and stuff. So you can mix and match any of the heroes from any of the sets and fight them against each other and see how that goes, just like Unmatched, the mix and match capability. Whoa, okay, people must have figured this out already. Unmatched, it's like unmatched potential, whatever, fighters, these are all incredible, but then the mix and match component. There's not many people who haven't figured that out other than me, right? But anyway, I'm impressed. Dice Throne, there's no match in that. Regardless, I was on the fence about Dice Throne for a long time. Like I watched, I think Dice Tower's review of it, and it looked just a little too simple for me or something, which I don't know exactly why now having played it. Like Unmatched is simple just in a different way. I don't know why I was opposed to Dice Throne for so long, because now having played it a couple times, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be one of the things that I buy everything for, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. The other actual, here's an actual critique of Dice Throne is Unmatched does not need the IP-based characters. They do a great job with characters from folklore or history or anything like that. Those are so exciting and fun. It's cool to be like, I can play Tesla. That's awesome. Like a cool steampunk version of Tesla. That's sweet. Annie Christmas. That's so great. I wish that Dice Throne's other line of characters, the not IP based, were folklore or like public domain based, because man, thinking about, I'm gonna buy the barbarian set where there's a barbarian and some other, and it's just like a guy who looks burly. There's something about that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's just like name recognition, and I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. And so I see, like Sherlock Holmes, and I'm like, that's really cool. But yeah, the Dice Throne, I feel like I might just stick to the Marvel sets at this point, and then maybe if they do any other IP based stuff. But like, there's a moon elf, and there's a shadow thief, and they're all kind of cool, but they're all they just sound generic. I don't know. There's something there. There's something there that I'm not vibing with. All that said, played Dice Throne. This one specifically, I also played on Tabletop Simulator with some of the nondescript fighters. And yes. This is super fun, super quick. The game was like maybe 40-ish minutes long, 30, 40 minutes, and it was the first game, and if you know board games, you know that first games are often drastically longer. This did not feel that way at all. It felt like I learned the rules in like 10 minutes and then taught the rules in 5 minutes, and then we played, and it was just great. What's next? What's next is Miniature Market purchases, because Miniature Market knew exactly how to get to me. They said, hey, it's your birthday, here's a $10 off coupon, which really just like negates the tax when you need to spend $100 to get free shipping. So that's what it did. The $10 off coupon negated the tax. First thing for Miniature Market, not a board game, but what is this, you're wondering? This is a little miniature assembly helper. If you've got any tiny little pieces, I have like very small hands, and yet there are tiny pieces, and I guess I just don't have the dexterity or something to affix tiny pieces without getting my fingers just covered in glue, and that's never a good thing. So these things, you clip a tiny piece, and you can bring them together, and you can hold them there, and then you can just leave it for as long as you need, and then you can unclip them, and then you've got the tiny pieces attached. I don't know how well this works. I haven't assembled any miniatures with it yet, but like as soon as I saw it, I knew how much it could help, just based on the trouble that I sometimes have assembling really little miniature bits. So very excited to actually get this used at some point. There's this thing in the center, which like it looks as though something would clip into it. If you have one of these and you know what that is, like it doesn't feel like something unclips super easily though. So if I stick a base in there, I'd be worried that it would just be there for the rest of time. So I don't know. Hey, there's a little kitty cat behind me. This is Birthday. So big. No, he's tiny. Look at him. He's so small. Wait. Let's spin you about so that as you rest, the people can look at your adorability. We're back to the games with a solo component. We're talking Raiders of Scythia. Scythia. This is a game from Shem Phillips and Garful Games. You know these games. They do the Raiders of the North Sea and Shipwrights of the West Andes. I don't remember. All those games that all have that same really cool art style. They did Raiders of the North Sea. Did I already say that? I think I said that. Raiders of the North Sea, which is this game's cousin, little brother, something. Raiders of Scythia has elements of the Raiders of the North Sea games expansions, like kind of worked into the base game. So this is a slightly more complete version of Raiders of the North Sea, as far as I understand it. I watched some videos about Raiders of the North Sea and about Raiders of Scythia and comparing them, so I have a general understanding of how that all works. Personally, I think the Raiders of the North Sea artwork is significantly better for me than the Raiders of Scythia artwork. I really like the look of Raiders of the North Sea, but it was not in stock, and it doesn't have all the same stuff in it that Raiders of Scythia does. This game seemed like more of a complete puzzle than that one did, so I went with this one because it was what was in stock. Because I already have... Yes, I had to check because I can't differentiate the names. I have Architects and Paladins of the West Kingdom, and those games are good, and so I wanted another one that I could play all by myself whenever I want to, and raid Scythia, which is fun, apparently. And last but not least, from Miniature Market, we have got Nemo's War. Oh, Birthday does not like Nemo's War. You okay, bud? Timmy fell down the well? Nemo's War. You know 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You know Captain Nemo. You know how to find him. Not a good joke. It's too obvious. I'm sorry, everyone. Nemo's War, you play as the titular Nemo, and you are sailing around the sea in your submersible machine, and you are taking down ships, and you are doing all sorts of other stuff. I watched a video from your boy Mike DeLisio of his favorite solo games, and this was on that list. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. This was on the list. Yeah, I think so. Maybe Z also talked about it, or maybe Z is the only one who talked about it. I don't know. Regardless, Dice Tower people talked about this game, talked about how great it was, and it really piqued my interest. It has kind of the look to me of Twilight Struggle. Like there is a no frills kind of look to both of those games. Like it's almost all cardboard and cards. There is a little Nautilus submarine miniature, which is unnecessary but cool. But it has that kind of feel of just like, this is just a thinky mathematical puzzle, and you're gonna have problems to solve, and it's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be tough, and it's gonna make you think, and that is appealing to me. But you know, I also like pretty games, and to me this game isn't like a drop-dead gorgeous kind of thing. It feels very functional, and okay, I don't know if we need to do that. This game feels very functional. I feel like it's good to have a couple games like that in your collection where it's like, you just know that this is like a solid game. And that's how this one feels to me. So a little scared to learn it and play it for the potential complexity and not having anyone there with me to commiserate and to figure out rules with, but also super pumped to play something that seems so rock solid. So Nemo's War, a board game. I didn't know how to close that one out, clearly. And final two games over here. So those were from Miniature Market. These two are from Tabletop Merchant, which is a place that I've never ordered from before, but the prices were great. The only, I don't know, like slight knock, well, there's two. So the only slight knock that I was gonna say was that the free shipping threshold is higher. You got to spend $150 to get free shipping, whereas on Miniature Market you got to spend $100 to get free shipping. And so, you know, you say $150, and I go, well, if it's free shipping, I suppose I can make that happen. And I did make it happen. Not included in this haul is Concordia Solitaria, because I already got rid of the box because I just put it all in the base game box. But I can play Concordia solo now as well, and that was from Tabletop Merchant also. So that's just a small knock, is that, like, yes, you are going to convince me to spend more money, and you've done your job very, very good. The other thing was just that the website itself, every part of the like shipping and everything, that all went great. The games arrived in great condition, and there was a little handwritten note from the owner of Tabletop Merchants. That was very nice. The only thing is that the website is a little bit janky, and I just clarify that everything else was smooth, because sometimes janky website translates to janky service, and that is not the case. Janky website just translated to janky website. But like, I would click on the listing of a game on the website. Like, you would sort it by whatever, and you'd be like, I want to learn more about this game. And so you'd go to the page that would usually have a picture of the game and a description and all that stuff. And it would just take me to the cart, and the game wouldn't be in the cart. And then I was like, I can't even get the games into my cart. I don't know what happened there. I did end up figuring out a workaround. I can't remember exactly what the workaround was, but I did figure something out. But it was just a little wonkadoo. It's fine. No worries. Concordia Salsa, one of the games that I got in the haul, an expansion to a game that I already own. Hey, bud. There's a cat directly behind me. So, first of all, we have, I'm going to do it. The insert does not keep everything super, so there's going to be some shifting, which I don't love. Monumental. This is the core box. This is the one without miniatures. This is just tokens. Trust me when I say I looked for the miniatures version, and I was like, boy, that's a lot of money. It's even a lot of money for the tokens version. I was very happy to get it for the price that I got it on Tabletop Merchant, because, I don't know, for a game that is just kind of cardboard and cards, it was a pricey box. It was pretty pricey. That said, it was also on Mike Delicio's favorite solo games. I have also had my eye on this for a long time. I feel like it's always on the Dice Tower Top 100s, and it just looks like the type of game that appeals to me. I like games that are big maps where you gotta do area control, and I love deck building. Deck building's really fun. I watched the whole review. I don't know why I'm like, I didn't spend all my time doing this. I legitimately spent like 2 days researching all these games that I bought. Like, I just was on YouTube just watching review after review after review, deciding whether or not they were for me. So this one, the way that you like activate cards, where you're like kind of tapping them, they're in this like grid, and you're tapping them to show that you've used them, and you get rid of the ones that you use, and then you like replenish your tableau. Instantly, I saw that and I was like, yep, that's interesting to me. I want to play that. That sounds super, super cool. So here we are. It's here, Monumental. Also cool that like the Vikings can have the Statue of Liberty. That's fun. I like silly, wacky things like that, because I'm a silly, wacky guy. It looks like a lot of fun, and this may be, yes, I will officially say it. You heard it here first. Monumental is the game of these games that I am the most excited to play. It's just got everything that I want a game to have. It really does. There's nothing in here that doesn't speak to me, with the exception of tokens instead of miniatures. I saw a lot of people saying that the tokens are actually easier to play with than miniatures. Miniatures kind of like clog things up. But while that has been true of a lot of games that I've owned, I still want the miniatures. I recognize that they may be a more cumbersome experience, but hey, these little guys. I like little guys. I'm a big fan. All right, so that is Monumental. Oh boy. A game that I did not know existed until the Dice Tower Top 100, and it was on Mike's list. Ugh. Batman, The Dork Knight Returns, the game. And this is the deluxe edition, which has the miniatures, because yeah, I'm sorry, I want the miniatures. I don't want little tokens. Monumental, that's my one knock on Monumental. It's big. Look at how big. Wow, so big. Too big? I think kind of too big. I would rather have my games be more this way, more square shaped, and then a little like taller than this. Cause like, what? Come on, this is silly. Dark Knight Returns, this is a designed to be exclusively solo game. There are rules for like a versus game in here. There may be rules for co-op. I don't know. That's not what I'm getting it for, so I didn't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. This is a solo game, basically. It's basically just a solo game, and it takes you through the story of the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns graphic novel, and you're Batman, and you have different, like, kind of helpers. I was going to call them sidekicks, and then I think they are referred to as sidekicks, and then I switched it to helpers. Why did I do that? We don't need to dissect everything. Batman has buddies in this game that help him in different chapters of the story. You can work with Jim Gordon, you can work with the new Robin, you can work with Green Arrow, who only has one arm. Sorry, bud. And there's different bosses in each of the different stories. You might fight against Superman, oh my gosh, or the Joker, or the big mutant guy whose name is Greg. I don't remember what his name is. Doesn't matter. It looks so cool. I watched Mike's review of it after it showed up on his top 100 and his favorite solo games lists recently, and I love this book. And it felt, I was like, if the game is good, this feels like one that is, I just have to have, because cool miniatures of Dark Knight Returns Batman, that sounds great. And then a game where you get to play as old Batman. This is... Let me think. I am pretty sure this is the only game that I own with DC characters. And I have a ton of Marvel stuff. And I am not like 100% Marvel over DC. Why do I not have more DC things? I think it's because a lot of the DC games, to me, don't appeal quite as much. That, what was it called? Batman Gotham City Chronicles. Is that the one that I'm thinking of? The big one, the one that is terrible, the one that everyone hated collectively. That game, before I knew that everyone hated it, I was like, I need that game. That looks amazingly incredible. It feels like every single DC game that I see, I'm like, I don't feel like I really need that. The one that maybe I would do is the DC deck building game, maybe. But at the same time, I haven't done any research or reviews, watched any reviews of that. So I don't know even that one appeals to me. Exciting. Yeah, you get to play through different chapters of The Dark Knight Returns. What more could you want out of a game if you like The Dark Knight Returns? And it uses art from the books and the miniatures. Obviously, all the art in the graphic novels is two-dimensional, but the miniatures are still in the same style. Like, they take the look of Batman. He's really big and hulking and all that, and is that as a miniature. It's cool. Who doesn't want to see that in a board game? All right, everybody. That is all for... It's a clean table now. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for this Board and Savior video. I've never done a haul before, and I don't really watch a lot of hauls, so let me know, completely honestly, in the comments down below, what about this you liked? What about this you didn't like? What you would have appreciated to see? Do you want me to open up the games and show you components? Do you want me to talk less? Do you want me to talk more about each game? What would make this something that you would like more? Completely open to feedback. Really appreciate that. So give this video a like if you liked it. Please subscribe. Click that bell. The stuff that YouTubers say. Comment down below with your favorite French fry varieties. I like waffle fries. Actually, you know what? Steak fries are my favorite. My favorite French fries of all time, Red Robin fries. You can quote me on that, punks. So that's going to do it. I will see you next week when I do something. Bye, everybody.